Hi everybody. I just wanted to make a video, my own sort of video post to the discussion board, and I wanted to address the fourth discussion question. Um, and I mean, I want to point out that a handful of you, several of you, um, brought this up in your own video post or comments to your classmates. And that is that I think but for me personally, I think one of the things that sprang to mind when I was thinking about that question, and I came up with it because I wasn't really sure what the answer was. But after thinking about it for a while, I thought, I think it has probably a lot to do with colonialism. And I mean, I think what a lot of you were talking about with the um, post 9/11 sort of Islamophobia and all of that kind of thing. I think that's certainly part of the story, but I think, at its roots, a lot of it has to do with colonialism because if you're Europe and you're trying to dominate these other parts of the world, notably, so for example, like Ibn Sina, his medical textbook was used all over Europe as, like, the textbook for medical students everywhere. And up until, I don't know, the Middle Ages or something, for like 600 years after he wrote it. And all of these other kinds of influences, they influenced the Renaissance. There's this influence there. And then, so what happens? And I think, this is just before the time that, the 1400s or so, where European countries are starting to, explore and, you know, uh, uh, start this process of colonization and slavery during what historians will refer to as the modern era, which is like 1500 onwards, basically. Anyway, so in order to do that, you have to justify your domination of these people, and so you have to explain all different kinds of things that you come across. So I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent because there's a lot of interesting examples and stories. But the point I'm trying to make is that you will also have to demonstrate your superiority in some way. And so if you are recognizing all these achievements, then it kind of makes your colonialism unjustified. So a lot of you pointed that out, and then I think the next step after that is, what is your education system going to look like then? Well, you're going to learn about all the wonderful achievements of Europeans and nobody else. And then and then I think systems like that are highly resistant to change. All kinds of institutional settings, I think they can be really difficult to change. And so you get an education curriculum and system that is passed down the generations. And yes, it changes, and people advocate and lobby for all different kinds of changes, but it can be very difficult. And I think things just kind of stick. Things just, not always out of like some conspiracy, but it doesn't occur to anybody to change it. So it just stays. It just gets replicated over and over again because nobody thinks to change it. So hopefully that will change. But yeah, I mean, I remember in high school I learned all about the Greek philosophers in particular. And the big takeaway, I don't remember any particulars, but I remember the biggest point in the government class that we had to take, and the philosophy class that I took as an elective, is that they invented democracy. This is where America gets so many of its ideas and ideals about government system and a democracy and how it should work. And so there's this great reverence for them, which okay, maybe, and certainly we don't have an Athenian democracy, but a lot of those ideas came from there. But we don't learn about what all these other, and there's other parts of the world. It's not just the Islamic Golden Age. There's influential science and philosophy and math and art and everything that we just don't really learn about. And then just the other thing, can I share? Let me try and share my screen. It's just by coincidence this morning. I hope you can see it because I have not tried recording while sharing my screen before. And I came across this story and I thought it was interesting and similar to what we were talking about. So this is about Black history in the United States. Let me try and remind myself who it is. It's Dr. Joy Banner, okay, of the Whitney Plantation. If you have never heard of the Whitney Plantation, it's very interesting. You can search for it on YouTube. There's some good videos about it. But here, so while learning about the Civil War, we don't talk about Reconstruction, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it was this paragraph, this second paragraph down that jumped out at me as interesting. That people think slavery was about hatred. Slavery was about opportunity and the exploitation of Black labor, which I think is a really interesting, important angle to take on it. This country was built on the backs of the enslaved people. And if you don't learn about the journey of Black people, you will not understand American history. This article puts it much better than I would be able to. Some say part of the problem is the marginalization of Black historians and Black educators. Black history was not written from the perspective of Black people or Black scholars. Okay, so this is one of the things that came up in our discussion this week about why we don't learn about the Islamic Golden Age, because, in large part, because our history has been written and dominated by, white historians and white storytellers. It was written by Eurocentric scholars, so you get a Eurocentric view that does not tell the whole story and includes inaccuracies. Right. So I just wanted to share that. I thought it was interesting, and I just happened to come across it this morning. If you don't know Facing History and Ourselves, by the way, it's a fantastic resource for students and teachers. I mean, they have so much interesting material on their website and everything. One of these days, I will try to incorporate some of it into my own teaching, but definitely recommend looking around on their website if you're ever sort of just looking for something interesting to browse. All right, that is all I wanted to share, and I hope I didn't talk too long. I'm sorry. Yeah, and thank you for a really good discussion board this week. I really enjoyed hearing all of the things that everybody had to say, and I will catch you next time. And if you have any opinions on this format of me doing the grading and commenting and stuff, let me know. I enjoyed it a lot more, actually, for myself. There was something different about leaving comments in the discussion board itself instead of just like these one-on-one private messages. So yeah, let me know what you think of that. And then it was sort of fun to think, well, I should post my own response to one of the discussion questions. So it was more fun for me to do it this way. But yeah, let me know what you think if you have any opinions on it. All right, thank you for sitting through that. Okay, bye. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye.